What's good, y'all? Welcome back for episode 2, and I finally got a title for my show. It's called Let's Get It, because that's exactly what we do when we're up in the building. I want to welcome back my brother, VJ Vernon, back in the building with me. Let's get down to it. Let's get it. First topic be Golden State. I'm seeing vulnerability, fam. I really am after this whole, especially after that Toronto game. Now, I mean, I definitely want to get your feeling on it, but for me right now, heavy is the head that wears the crown. You know, championships don't come easy. And I'm sure that Golden State's learned that. They know that right now. Yeah. 3 out of the last 4, back-to-back champs. And I think the biggest thing I saw, especially after this last game against Toronto, I mean, the fact that they lost to Toronto without Kawhi, that really, really surprised me. Especially the way they lost, losing by 20. That really kind of opened my eyes. And I thought to myself, like, some people may not understand, especially those who may not be athletes. And I'm not sure how your career was because you played football, right? But I know in my experience, when I was in college especially, won championship from freshman to junior year. And the one thing that I learned, even before college, is that each year you're on top, it's just that much hard because they're just going to come after you hard.
Of course.
And that's right what I'm seeing right now with Golden State. The fear is gone. Okay. I believe the fear from the other teams is gone right now. And I mean, I saw that with Toronto. I mean, the way they played, I mean, they really impressed me. Now, I know it's regular season, but I mean, so we got to keep them in perspective. But I mean, Toronto does currently hold the best record in the league. And I said, right now, I think between probably maybe fatigue, inner turmoil, whether we want to talk about it or not, there's just a lot of factors where I'm seeing like a chink in the armor. What do you think?
No, I totally disagree. It's funny when you text me that yesterday. I laughed. I'm like, no, there's no. This is sports, okay? Championships, as you said, are hard to come by. Every dynasty goes through this, except for the Spurs. They were the only dynasty in our lives that we looked at, and it was never achieved. Even go back to the Jordan dynasty. Remember the book, The Jordan Rules. Remember the book about the inserts in the book about he was telling a reporter that they were telling teammates not to pass the ball to Bill Cartwright, and you know him exactly and during the first 3, right? So there's always there were rumblings about him and Rodman in the second 3, where he kind of grew tired on Jordan. Rodman partying and showing up late the next day, and even though Jordan was doing it, but Jordan's like, I'm Jordan. But Rodman's like, yeah, but I'm 19 rebounds tomorrow night, Dennis Rodman. And also for Mike and Pip, I think they held Rodman accountable. Like, as long as you show up and do your job, that's what it really became. Okay, listen, but I think somebody grabbed the mic and said, listen, as long as he just shows up and does his job, you know. Yeah, we're good. It's Dennis is going to be exactly. But as you say about Golden State. So, and I'm just using that as a parallel example. This stuff happens. Teams will get blown out during the regular season. It's hard to get up. It's the first week. That game was the other night, so it's right in the middle of the second week of December. Like, we haven't even played a bowl game yet. Exactly. The college just haven't even played bowl games yet. So we pump the brakes. This happens with teams. Boogie's now in the G League rehabbing. Steph is still, because Steph came back on fire too. What up, Steph? The Vanilla brothers just always get it done. But I think there's nothing to worry about. That fear you're talking about, some teams, but not Toronto. Because Toronto's a good basketball team. Let's not forget.
The contenders. Yeah. I mean, and let's say it's too early as far as but the teams that are showing strong, the teams I think that will be in the playoffs, the Torontos, the Bostons, the Phillies, and on the west side, the OKCs.
Don't forget Milwaukee in the East before you say Philly, though.
Well, I'm just going to Milwaukee. In the west side, OKC, Denver, which we're going to touch on a little bit later. But God, Denver right now is balling. The LA Clippers are balling. I think, LeBron and them, it's still too early to tell, but I think, with this team currently, they wouldn't win a series, but I think they could, probably do a little something. I'm just saying, but the fear,
depends on who they play.
But everybody's used, I think, because when you're used to a team, like I said, 3 out of the last 4 years, we're living in the Golden State era right now.
Of course.
This is their era.
Yeah.
And the bottom line was in the beginning, when it was just Steph, Clay, Draymond, they were fortunate. I think for me, I was like, they were fortunate to win that championship. The Clippers should have beat them anyway. They took advantage of it and went on to beat LeBron the first time. Yep. But when they added KD to this roster, the first time I think the league was just like, whoa.
I think the league liked it.
Well, I mean, I don't think everybody. I know I didn't. Yeah. But I think everybody was just
the league.
Whoa.
I think the league liked it. Like the front office, I think the league liked it.
Probably. Yeah. But I think people just like, whoa. From like team standpoint, because you got this monster in KD already joining Golden State who already won without him. All right, so then we went through that. They ran through LeBron, with KD, pretty much 4-1, and then just last year swept them. But I think, like I said again, in the sport, it's not like these guys aren't professionals themselves, from the coaches to the players.
Yeah.
It's like, look, okay, we know you're tough. And just like you see a lot of these teams right now, they're adapting. Like, we're going to catch up with you. We're going to figure out, because we know the formula with you. And I think that's why I say that I think the fear factor for those teams that I think will be contenders. Now, your lower tier teams, the ones that don't have a chance.
Yeah.
Now, I can still see the fear there. But with that Toronto team, without Kawhi, like I said, I just feel the fear isn't there anymore.
Once again, like I said, maybe Toronto doesn't fear them because Toronto knows you got Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry is a Philly kid. Philly kids are just tough. Yeah, you get you a Philly kid or a South Side Chicago kid or a Borough, Brooklyn, Bronx, New York kid, just some parts of this country, Richmond, Oakland, the Eastern Washington area up in Washington State and Seattle out there. You just some neighborhoods or some cities. You get athletes from there, the one thing you got is a tough-minded athlete because of what they've been through in life. So it starts there with Kyle Lowry. They have other pieces on that team. It's not just Kawhi.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's the same team other than minus DeMar DeRozan that was the number 1 seed in the East. Except for just mentally they couldn't get over the LeBron hump. But DeMar DeRozan, to me, isn't that player to get over that hump. I think Kawhi is. You add Danny Green, who's won championships.
Ibaka,
yeah. You talk about that team. Van Fleet. You talk about that team. It's not. I know Kawhi didn't play, but they blew the Clippers out the night before. So, and the Clippers are supposed to be this surprise team. You look at the top. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
I know what you're saying.
I don't buy it, but it is. The numbers are the numbers. The records are the records. So when you look at the standings, it's right there. It says what it says, and it says that the Clippers are up here, and they went in there, blew them out. They went up to Golden State. Golden State has those moments like all championship teams and dynasties do. We saw this with the Heat. We saw this with any team you can name through dynasty. The Lakers. We saw this with the Shaq and the Kobe Lakers. They had nights where they get blown out, and you'd be like, "Oh my God, the chink is in the arm." It's like, man, listen, it's December. It's hard to keep coming back because when you win a championship, everybody starts at the bottom again. And sometimes, and Golden State too, this is what I think when you talk about maybe the fear. They don't have the name of history that you look at and go, like a Duke jersey or a Carolina jersey or an Alabama helmet or a Michigan helmet. The Yankees, those pinstripes come out, because you want to beat them because they've been good so damn long. I don't know if you look at Golden State and see that. And
well, I think because we're in their era, right? Because they're still within their era. And I mean, because, Steph, I'm using Steph because I feel we agree this is his team.
Yes.
Like when MJ played, MJ had that presence. I don't think Steph obviously didn't have that presence. When you're sitting there talking about, with the name on the jersey, you don't fear it. We're living in the middle of the era of Golden State where it's just like, of course, I'm going to sit here and say I agree with you on that standpoint, but because they're still developing and ruling the era that they're in, but without having like that one player, even though they have KD, I still look at Steph first. And so that's why for me it's just like, okay, I can kind of go with what you're saying of the name on the jersey doesn't quite have that presence.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't because it doesn't have the history. It doesn't matter if we're in the era. It doesn't have the history. The era's got nothing to do with it. It's like when Kobe and Shaq was with the Lakers. It's like the Lakers. Here they come up, down 20. But, damn, here come the Lakers. Like, they got Kobe and Shaq, but there was a time when they had Magic, Worthy, and Kareem. And there was a time where they had Elgin. There was a time where they had West. They've been good for so long. Mentally, as an athlete, when you go play them, you're up to beat them. It's not like you're trying to beat Kobe. You want to beat the Lakers. You want to beat the Cowboys. You want to beat Duke. It's like Duke. Like, come on, man. You see these teams, like the game they played, I think it was about a week and a half ago. I think it was Harvard. And then, it was a tied game. 31. That was just Yale seeing Duke and running off some adrenaline. But talent eventually, especially when the talent disparity is that wide, talent will eventually win over. And in the NBA, it's an 82-game long season.
Right, and we're only 27, 28 games.
And it's not a team you see often. You only play them once because it's from the opposite conference. You only play them twice. You don't see them. You don't see them.
And they did sweep them, but it still says a little
exactly. Something. You don't see them often. But when they went out there and played them, they didn't have Steph. So they come here. I mean, it happens. We saw Golden State get blown. Who was it that ended their 20-something game home? What is it? The Celtics that came out here last year, a year before last? They had like a 21, 22-game home winning streak going and came in here to... I would say Nate Robinson, but that would put it back even further. So it wasn't Nate Robinson. It was either the Celtics or somebody from the East Coast came out here and beat the holy hell out of them at home.
Right.
And then they turned around and like lost to the Spurs the next night, and then lost a few more games. And everybody was, oh, what's up with the regular season? With the NBA, man, my whole thing is holler at me after the Super Bowl. I'll talk it and debate it.
Oh, yeah,
but as far as diving into trying to read anything from these games,
I'm not putting all my chips on the table, but like I said, I did see.
I'm glad you're not.
And another thing, again, I mean, how often are you going to catch Steph and Clay and Draymond having the kind of games they did?
Yeah, it was all night,
and if anything, I think that's when you have to step on them.
Yeah.
Because it's Golden State, and they can turn on at any moment. There's no safe, margin with the Warriors when you have them down.
And defense and turnovers are their Achilles. Mm-hmm. Some nights they just don't play D in the show. And the other night, all those open 3-point shots, but Toronto was hitting them. They give up those shots to a lot of teams.
And you're so well balanced.
Some teams can just hit them. And that night, Toronto just. It got to the point I was like, man, what the heck is like? Whoosh,
but it was so well balanced. I mean, the one thing I like about Toronto, and I got to shout Toronto, shout to my wife, who's a proud Canadian, who's from Toronto.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay,
my wife's Canadian, so believe me.
So Toronto, how y'all doing?
So please believe my house right now is I'm scared.
Okay.
Toronto wins the finals, but
man.
but real talk. I mean, Toronto looks so balanced, and Kyle Lowry, who I like, I mean, is a very, I won't say great, but he's a very good floor general. I mean, the way he had everybody spaced out, and as much as I complain about it, it still bothers me, but I do appreciate Ibaka's development. I think he still shoots a little bit too much for my liking. I still rather go back a little bit to the OKC Ibaka, but in that game, though, he took good shots. He got the shot in the flow of the offense, whether it was a 15, 20-footer or even a 3, he got it in the flow. It wasn't like he was just forcing it up. And I mean, that was just Toronto in general. They were just getting good shots. Yeah. And they attacked the basket. And the one thing about Golden State also is I am not in love with their bench. Their bench, I mean, outside of...
They got some injuries on their bench right now, too. And I think that's hurting them, too.
The one thing, if you're going to bring up Boogie, I mean, we're talking about Boogie may still be up for another couple of months. And I'm not trying to say I'm sleeping on Boogie, but at the same time, I'm sitting there thinking also, though, you got to remember what Boogie's coming back from.
Yeah.
We're thinking about Boogie as in Boogie before he went down.
Boogie's not an explosive. You're both former athletes. The Achilles is a funny thing because it will take your explosiveness away from you. But Boogie wasn't a high flyer explosive guy. Boogie's just a big guy. He's broady. He's a bully type player. If he can just do, I would say 70% of what he was doing before would be enough for them because that's better than 100% than what other teams are getting from their second, third, or fourth option. Excuse me. So I think I'm gonna wait till Boogie comes back and maybe go online and maybe watch a few just D-League games. I just want to watch his body. The video of him running the other day did not look good. I will say that. The video. I'm trying to figure out who let that out. I wouldn't have let that out. I definitely would not have put that out. Like when he's rehabbing, he's no videos, no phones, no cameras. None of that would be my motto. Is how I would handle it. Because I looked at that and I said, he going to the G League to work out? It looked like he could barely move. So yeah. But turnovers and rebounds for Golden State are normally their Achilles heel when they lose games like that. And some of the passes work sometimes. But even Steph, there were 2 turnovers he had, and I just shook my head. I'm like, God, Steph, like that's the part of your game I don't like.
Which is just Steph. I mean, you can go back to that finals where Cleveland did beat them before KD
got there. The around the back pass, man. The around the back pass at the end of the fourth.
Like I said, and there's really no good explanation for that. And
you can just do this to Clay.
Exactly.
But he wanted to go, and it went out of bounds, and that gave. Matter of fact, wasn't that the turnover that led to the Kyrie shot?
Pretty much.
That was the turnover that led to the Kyrie shot.
It definitely changed the momentum.
Yeah,
so, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, we're sitting here, we don't quite agree on the same thing. I mean, I'm not putting all my chips in, but I said just a little glimpse. There might be some vulnerability.
Sound like it to me.
But like I said, we're only 27, 28 games in, but I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on the Golden State Warriors. Don't go nowhere, man. We got a lot more to talk about. We'll be right back. Out.